We saw this article online and wanted to unpack it with you. The title is Gen Z's Growing Credit Card Debt Problem and How to Fix It. Apparently, young adults are carrying more credit card debt than previous generations. So here's a quick look at the numbers. According to a recent TransUnion study, 84% of 22 to 24-year-olds had an active credit card as of last year. Compare that to only 61% of the same age millennials in 2013. It looks like that graphic's not going full here, but we should also note that the Federal Reserve Bank of New York found that nearly 1 in every 7 Gen Zers has maxed out their credit cards. That is higher than both millennials and Generation X. So we wanted to talk a little bit about this. Obviously, the number's troubling there. The article goes on to list some of the reasons that Gen Z is using credit cards as much as they are, but that's a lot of debt to be taking on so early, because then you get behind quickly with all that compounding interest.
And let's just assume that some of these people have college loans already too, because they're in that age range, just under 27 years old. I know I was trying to manage a credit card right out of college too, and that was a bit of a struggle for me. And that was before inflation made interest rates as bad as they are now.
Yeah, and it's easy for oldsters like us to say, you know, like, just be smart about it and don't get yourself caught. But many of us have done it, have been making those same bad decisions, and now it's even harder to dig out of that hole. So it feels like something needs to change overall. It's more than just self-control, it feels like.
Well, and one of the things that they mentioned in the article is that a lot of college grads are not finding jobs once they get out, and the jobs that they are finding don't pay well enough that they can live on it, so then they turn to those credit cards. And I was looking at something also that was in Forbes recently that says around 38% of employers currently in this year are avoiding hiring college grads. They say that they're not ready, that often they bomb their interviews,
oh my gosh,
that they're not prepared. You've heard the stories about bringing parents along for their interviews and things like that, and they don't want to take that chance if there's someone who's more experienced.
The thing with people with more experience, I also was reading something that these Gen Zers are coming out of the pandemic. You had a lot of experienced people losing their jobs when the pandemic hit. So you suddenly had people who were maybe more qualified for these positions, so they were able to get those jobs that Gen Z might have. So I was surprised to hear that, and not at the same time, that the competition is tougher for them. So maybe they're not getting the job that pays the type of money they need to start paying off the credit cards that they're racking up.
Well, another thing that we sort of touched on is that a lot of people are not just paying credit card debt, they're also paying giant loans for college. And I'm fortunate enough that I get to talk to a lot of young people about this career in particular. And can I just say here what I usually say to them, which is, don't waste a lot of money on a big college education. I went to a state school. I lived at home with my parents. That was not cool. And at times I was like, this stinks. But at this point in my career, I know that being debt-free is far more important than anything else. The education I got was incredible. And frankly, if I had paid 50 grand a year for what I ultimately ended up paying in New York State at the time, like 6 grand per year for, I would be in deep debt and would still be working probably the same job. I wouldn't have gotten a better job because of it.
And I found it interesting. I was at one of my son's athletic events where the banquet, all the kids that were seniors were basically telling everyone what they were doing post-high school. And Mike, it was great to hear that a number of them were saying, listen, I'm going to do 2 years at a smaller school, and my plan is to eventually transfer. And hearing that does give me some hope that there's some realization that you really do have to look at the value of education, and then also how much you're going to be able to make depending on the type of career you want.
That's something that my dad was hoping I would do. He's probably listening to this right now. Are you going to do 2 years at a community college, right? And I got accepted to be able to go to the same state school as my sister, so it kind of worked out in that way. But there are so many ways to continue your education without setting yourself up for struggles decades later in your life.
But state school? Really?
Big part of it there.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.